Hello everybody, Homeless Gamer 97 here. Today I'm going to be reacting to how Domino's Pizza is made. Also, stay till the end of the video for a special announcement. Also, I want to say, I know that a lot of YouTubers do this in the beginning of videos, and I didn't really want to do this, but if you guys subscribe, it's free. It helps me out. It helps me want to create more content for you guys. Not only that, but if you like the video, it lets me know what kind of content you're liking. I have a very low ratio of likes compared to views. I know a lot of YouTubers do. But then also, commenting on the video, any kind of engagement, I love. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your opinions. I don't see a lot of comments. There's very few. And I do respond to every single comment that's put on my videos. I really do. There's a few that I might miss once in a while, but I always go back and get to them eventually. So please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. I know that on most of my videos, 100% of people watching them are not subscribed. One of my recent videos, I had 44% of my subscribers watching my videos. So I really do appreciate you guys. I do, and I want to interact with you guys. So please comment, like, subscribe. It really helps the channel out, helps grow our community.
While the best pizzas are the ones made fresh in the oven, due to their extremely high demand, pizzas have become one of the most mass-produced regular foods in history. But
it is actually the most popular food on the planet right now. Not just that, but Domino's is actually the top pizza chain in the world with over 20,000 locations. And in 2023, I don't know what we made in 2024. I know in 2023 we made $9 billion in sales. Now, obviously, a lot of that needs to get paid out to employees and buying product, a lot of other things, but we're the top pizza chain on the planet. Which I didn't know this until recently. I'm not trying to toot my work's own horn, but I didn't know this until I did some research.
How can something that is usually made by an experienced chef be made using machines thousands of times a day? Well, let's find out. Gathering the ingredients. Most frozen pizzas, like homemade or restaurant ones, are made up of three main components. The dough, which is made from flour, but also includes yeast, oil, salt, as well as some preservatives. The sauce, which is a proprietary blend of tomatoes and spices, as well as a few chemicals to ensure smoothness and stable shelf life, and the cheese.
I didn't know about the chemicals part of that. Now, I do know our sauce gets shipped in as well, and then we dilute it with water, mix it up. But yeah, our ingredients get shipped to us, but I'm curious if this is going to show how our ingredients are sourced and how they're made in the factory before we get them.
Which is brought pre-made into the factory. Those, and of course, the toppings that range from simple vegetables to mushrooms and meats. But regardless of what exact combination of ingredients is used by the factory, once they've been gathered, we can start the actual cooking process that begins, as it does with all pizzas, with kneading the dough. While many people don't like now, since these pizzas are going to be made hundreds at a time, the factory starts by mixing huge amounts of refined flour, salt, oil, some sugar for the yeast, as well as some cornmeal for flavoring, one by one.
Hey guys, Homeless Gamer from the future here. So I just want to say, we don't, for in-store, make the pizzas hundreds at a time. We make them in-store as you order. It wasn't until towards the end of this video that I did some research during the video that I found out that Domino's does actually make pre-frozen pizzas. But for us in-store, we don't do it that way. So just wanted to interject that in there. I forgot to add that in the video. Sorry about that. But I'm going to shut up and let the video play. I'm sorry. I just wanted to update you guys on that. So I didn't know that we put cornmeal in the dough itself. I know that we spread cornmeal and we put the cornmeal on both sides of the dough before the people in the kitchen spread it out to then place it on the little cooking trays and stuff we have. I didn't know that it was actually incorporated in the dough itself.
Into a pan that is being mixed using an industrial attachment. And once everything is mixed for a bit, they also add the magical ingredient, some active yeast that'll give the pizza crust some lovely fluffy.
Yeah, so when we get it, it comes pre-portioned and chilled. And we have to let it proof. We get it probably within a day, if not less, of it being made. And at times we run out of certain doughs. And we have to wait until we get another shipment. We know we get a shipment every night. Every night we're getting dough shipped to us. So, like I said, we're getting it as fresh as possible because we just don't have the facilities to store all the ingredients in-house and make it all in-house like these mom and pop pizza shops do.
But
so I just have to interject. I know I'm interrupting the video a lot. I'm sorry. Correction. Don't get shipments every single night because we get a lot of dough. We don't use all of that all the time. It's usually every other night or a couple times a week, not every night. So I just wanted to correct myself on that one and set the record straight. Also, there have been times when we've had dough that we've had it for, it's going towards the expiration date. So we do actually have to throw away a lot of dough that we don't use it if we don't get a lot of orders. So you are getting the freshest dough possible. We are checking dates. We are making sure things are fresh. That way you, the customer, don't get sick. That is important to us. Not only because, like, to me personally, it's very important to me that you guys don't get sick because I care about all my customers. Every time I deliver, I sometimes have really good conversations with my customers, and I get a lot of regulars, and I don't want to see them sick. I really don't. Now, I know from Domino's perspective, as a company, it's more of a PR thing. They don't want to get sued. But for me personally, as someone who sees the customers in person and goes to their house and delivers the pizza, has conversations with them, I really do care about you guys. Again, I'm sorry for interjecting so much. Let's continue the video.
Chewy texture. And as anyone who has ever kneaded dough can tell you, it's an intensive job. So to compensate for that, the machine mixing and kneading the dough is powered by the equivalent of a truck transmission.
Yeah, so it's all done in-house or in the factory because think about it. You get your pizza within 15. You can get your pizza presumably 15 minutes within ordering if you come to the store to pick it up, depending on how busy we are. And the way we can achieve that is by not having to do all of this in-house. Now, if we did all of this in-house, you might have to wait 30 to 45 minutes once you order to actually get your pizza. That's why when you go to a mom and pop pizza shop and you sit down to eat, it could take a while to get the pizza to you. Now, most mom and pop shops, before they open up, they'll start making the dough at like the crack of dawn. That way they can start having it proof and everything. So whenever you do order pizza there, they can just slice off the amount of dough they need, put it out, and make the pizza. Ours is kind of like that, but it's made by a factory. So it's just, if you want us to get your pizza to you within a reasonable amount of time, depending on how busy we are, it has to be done like this.
But as a result of that power, the dough only takes about 4 to 6 minutes to be kneaded.
I wish that I could do that at my house. That is nuts. 4 to 6 minutes. As most of you guys know, if you watch my videos, I live in my car. That's why I'm doing YouTube in my car. I have my laptop here and everything. So when I say house, I meant like when I had an apartment in the past, not currently. That's it.
And once that is done, the entire kneaded mass is allowed to rest for a few minutes. So A, it can relax from all that intensive kneading, and B, so all that yeast can do its job and make the dough fluffy and airy. Okay. And for that purpose, the dough is left untouched and allowed to rise for around half an hour. An important thing to note here is that since the slightest change in temperature and moisture can accelerate or impede the rising process, the conditions in that room are kept perfectly uniform.
Which is another thing. Our pizzas, the only thing different about our pizzas is the amount of toppings stuff we put on. But the dough is the same every time. And think about it. If we were doing that in-house, right, we can't control the amount of temperature because the door opening all the time, the back door opening with us delivery drivers going in and out, customers coming in and out, the moisture from outside and inside. We can't control all of that in-house. Which is also why at mom and pop pizza shops, you might get a really, really good dough one day because everything is in line for it to be perfect. And then another day, or even an hour later, you might get the dough that's not as good, or it's maybe a lot crispier, maybe not as fluffy, maybe it all depends. So if you want your Domino's pizza to be okay, or really good each time, depending on how you like Domino's. I know a lot of people prefer other pizza chains, but like, this is the way we have to do it. If you want your pizza to be pretty much the same each time you order it.
So that all pizzas have the perfect consistency. But once the volume has around...
Also, I do want to say, if anybody has gotten I'm not going to say what area I'm in, but if you've gotten a pizza delivered by me, a lot of the times us drivers are tending the oven at the back end to cut the pizza and box it up for you. I know that when I'm in a rush, sometimes all of the pizza pieces that I cut whenever I slice the pizzas aren't all uniform and evenly sized. So I am sorry about that. Also, you don't want me making your pizza because it would look like abstract art.
Doubled in size, the dough can move on to the next step, the creation of the crust. In this step, a machine turns the risen and ready dough from earlier into a machine called a chunking machine. This takes parts of that dough of 5 to 6 pounds in weight and throws them onto a conveyor belt that runs underneath the massive pan. As a result, the dough converts from one...
Yep. And this is how we get it. We get it shipped on those blue containers, and they're usually in that shape. Sometimes they're more pressed together or not, depending on how how fast they needed to get the dough out. But we get them in those blue containers. They're all stacked on top of each other. We get anywhere from like 40 to 50 of those delivered a day, if not more. And obviously the different dough for different sizes, like the small, the personal pan, which is the small, the medium, the large, the extra large, they're all different sizes. Also, the gluten-free, I think it's only medium, or small. I'm not sure. I think small. And then our thin crusts come in specific sizes as well.
One heavy mass into smaller, more manageable pieces. Another important thing to note here is that the conveyor belt, like...
Oh, was that guy in a freaking...
more manageable piece.
Do they have some corporate guy come down to film this? Because I guarantee you, those workers are not normally allowed to wear stuff like that. If we go to this next
Another
clip,
important thing to note here is that the conveyor belt, like all others that carry the dough, has already been dusted with raw...
I guarantee they all have to wear certain things, and I guarantee that business attire is not what most employees are wearing. That has to be some corporate person that's filming that part.
Flour, so that the very tacky dough doesn't stick to them. As a result, the conveyor transfers the chunks effortlessly to the next station, which is a sheeting machine, consisting of stainless steel rollers that have also been dusted with flour and which press the chunks into one long uniform sheet that exact thickness of a pizza crust. From there, a set of cutters trim off the uneven edges from this crust sheet, while a set of brushes dust the top.
This has to be for a thin crust, because how you saw the guy placing the dough on that blue tray was how we get it shipped in for most of our pizza, like the regular hand-tossed New York style in our pan. This has to be for the thin crust.
And sides of the dough with even more flour for the next step. Cutting the pizzas. In this step, as you can guess,
this is definitely for thin crust. This is not for our regular pizzas. Our regular pizzas come in the dough, and then our people in the kitchen, they knead it out and spread it out and create the crust. So this has to be for a thin crust pizza.
Sheet of dough is finally cut into recognizable pizza circles. A large plastic roller with circular molds here passes over the dough, cutting it into perfectly even circles. Immediately after that, a set of small wheels removes the remaining dough from the cutting and transfers it into another conveyor where it will once again combine with new dough.
Okay. So almost a zero waste facility. That's nice.
To be used again. All we're left with are perfectly round pizza crusts. From here, another set of stainless steel rollers.
Yeah, like I said, this is for thin crust. Our regular dough gets shipped in those blue containers to us, stacked.
Poke some holes into the crust so that it cooks evenly without any air bubbles, and then we can move on to the next step, par baking. Now,
does Domino's sell like frozen pizzas? Because that's the only way I could think that would be for the frozen pizzas. This isn't how our pizzas are made for in store. I don't know what video this is. Is this like?
If
I
you're
don't know. Let's
making
keep
pizza
watching. I'm
at home
confused.
to eat, then this wouldn't be a necessary step at all. But since these pizzas are meant to be frozen,
Okay. So it seems like Domino's might actually sell some frozen pizza. So basically, that entire process up to the dough being placed on the tray is what we get for a regular dough. The other dough that you saw that's being pressed out and cut, that's for our thin crust. It gets pushed really thin that way because there's no way we could make it that thin in person. Like we just can't do that for us personally. Take too much time, take you a long time to get your pizza. So our thin crust is pressed out and cut into the shape, and then that's put on like a wax paper and stacked and packaged into boxes and sent to us. Everything after that has to be for frozen pizzas because we don't get any pizzas frozen and sent to us at all, ever. We have no full pizza sent to us like this. We have to assemble each pizza. Or your garlic knots. We take the pizza dough and we twist those, the cinnamon twist, we do the same thing. Your stuffed cheesy bread, we cut all that ourselves. The rest of this has to be for frozen pizzas.
Now and cooked later, having them cooked halfway so that they hold their shape in the freezer is necessary. This is why the pizza rounds are transferred.
I never, if Domino's actually does sell frozen pizzas, I had no clue. I legitimately had no clue.
From their usual plastic conveyors onto steel conveyor belts, which transport them to a continuous oven that bakes them at 390 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit between 6 chambers for 3 to 4 minutes. This ensures that the pizza crust cooks evenly through the center without burning or developing a crust, and also gives it a lot more structure than it would have had without baking. And another thing this par baking accomplishes is important in the next step, which is saucing. Now, the pizza sauce used in most...
Did I just see that correctly? Oh my god. That's how frozen pizzas are sauced? But the sauce is covering the crust. Like the edge, but you grab onto. Okay.
Saucing. Now, the pizza sauce used in most pizzas is made in a separate factory using recipes unique to each company. But right now, we're only concerned with the relatively cooled down sauce that is kept in large reservoirs over the conveyor belt carrying the pizzas. Here, as soon as the warm...
Okay, first off, that is a lot of sauce on a pizza. We take one ladle full, put it down, and then spread it with the ladle itself. That is a lot of sauce on one pizza. I don't know what kind of pizza you're making, but maybe a margarita. That's a lot of sauce for one pizza.
Get out of the oven, they are topped with a bunch of tiny dollops of sauce from a saucing machine. This allows the sauce to properly adhere to the pizza crust instead of pooling on as a separate material.
But it's covering everything on that pizza. Legitimately everything. Is this for like a Tony's pizza where the sauce and cheese, like there's no crust itself or something like that?
And since we're at the saucing stage, that also means it's time for cheese and other toppings. Here, large blocks of a proprietary cheese blend
that looks like giant blocks of butter,
which mostly includes mozzarella, with a few other varieties, are brought into the factory where they are put into an industrial shredder. This shredder then deposits the shredded cheese onto a conveyor belt of sorts, and this belt passes over the pizza belt. When it ends, it drops all that cheese onto the pizzas. Now, since this is not controlled, the cheese spreads evenly on the entire...
Okay, so this person grabbed clips from everything they could possibly find on the internet, because that's not the same pizza that just went into the sauce. Now, maybe the ones that's like dolloped the sauce onto it, but that's not the same pizzas that just got a ton of sauce dumped on them.
A conveyor belt, not just the pizzas. But that's not an issue.
I'm assuming the cheese that's falling all around the pizzas gets recollected and put back into the process.
Because as soon as the pizzas get cheesed, they are transferred onto another conveyor belt while the first one drops all the excess cheese down into a collector to be used again. The same is done with all other toppings like vegetables, ham, pepperoni, etc., where a conveyor belt deposits them onto the pizza, and then the pizza gets transferred and the remaining toppings are reused. And once the exact amount and kind of toppings have been distributed onto the pizza, it's...
Hold on. I need to look this up. Does Domino's make frozen pizzas? Oh, they do. I did not know that. Okay.
Basically oven ready, which means that only a couple of steps remain, the first of which is testing. Now, the process of inspection is applied at almost all steps throughout the process. In particular,
weighing the dough, making sure it's good weight, okay.
At the cutting of the pizza crusts to check for inconsistencies, folded edges, or other flaws, as well as after baking to check for any burnt or overcooked pieces. But this stage is the most crucial one, as after this, it will be
weighing it pre-baked and after baking, I'm assuming.
Impossible to catch a mistake. As a result, both people and machines check for stuff like misshapen pizzas, overcooked crusts, and non-uniform toppings, while they also measure the weight and size of the pizza to keep the product perfectly consistent. And once that's done, we can finally reach the final step, freezing and packing.
Okay.
As you can imagine, during this step, the pizza is transferred into a separate chamber known as a spiral freezer, in which it travels on, you guessed it, a spiral conveyor belt for over 20 minutes, and at just 25 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's actually really cool. See, the amount of industry we have and the amount of technology we have that does all this stuff, it blows my mind to think that someone created all this stuff just to make a pizza, like a frozen pizza that you enjoy at home.
This freezes the pizza without turning it into an icicle instantly and locks all those lovely flavors inside. And once it's served that specified amount of time, it is brought onto the packing station where a set of machines align the pizzas individually, cut them into slices, and wrap them in.
I'm assuming they're going into some oven thing that's going to like shrink wrap that to the pizza.
Shrink wrap to further seal them from the environment. Then another machine vacuum seals the shrink wrap, and from there, they're boxed and shipped off to hungry family homes across the world. Click on one of these videos on your screen right now. We'll catch you guys.
All right, well, I'll see you guys in the next one, because that was interesting as heck. If you guys can, I mean, I'm not going to be offended. I don't care. I work for Domino's because that's the pizza place that hired me. And I do enjoy their pizza, but I enjoy other places as well. But if you made it this far in the video, comment down below what's your favorite pizza place. What's your favorite kind of pizza? Favorite kind of crust, your cheese choice, like toppings. So let me know. Let me know. I'm curious. Because as a driver, I'm allowed to like create my own creations as long as it's like a medium-sized pizza. With like 2 toppings. But yeah, if you guys comment down below, just let me know what your favorite kind of pizza is, what your favorite pizza place is. Even if it's not one that's well known, just let me know. I'd be curious to find out. But yeah, please leave a like. It lets me know if you like this type of content. Subscribe. It helps the channel. It's free. And just comment down below what if you want me to react to other things. I mean, I'm going to react to other things anyways of my choosing, but if you guys want to see me react to a specific thing, let me know, please. And I'll see you guys next one. Peace. All right, so for the special announcement, it is currently March 3rd, 2025. I believe it is March 2nd, 2025 at 11:53 p.m. I believe March 3rd, 2025. We are going to be introducing stuffed crust pizza on app and in store. So look forward to that. Don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but we'll see. Peace.